between the time when the oceans drank Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Arius, there was an age undreamed of. And unto this, Conan, destined to bear the jeweled crown of Aquilonia upon a troubled brow. It is I, his chronicler, who alone can tell thee of his saga. Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
We're live.
Okay, welcome to our second session of Conan, Skulls and Shadows. Little narration, we had a short session that got sidetracked a little bit and we didn't record it, so we're just going to narrate what happened. It was just about 10-15 minutes worth of stuff. On recommendation of Melik, the players, the characters, went to the Fox's Den, and the Fox's Den is a gambling establishment and that has small-time gladiatorial events. There they asked around for Pyter, or whereabouts of Pyter. No one seemed to know anything. After some gambling by Melik, who lost a single gold while unsuccessfully attempting to ask around more often, in the Fox's Den, they came up empty there. So they left and were on the streets of Shushan, and Varus had his purse stolen, and through Melik's heroics, he tackled the assailant and beat him bloody, while everyone reclaimed their coin, Varus reclaimed his coin purse, and they found other coin purses on his person. You will notice that I have given you an extra gold each, basically signifying that you've taken his gold. If you wish to give that back or give it to someone else, you may, but it ended up being a gold each, and Brusk and Jasper got a gold also. Currently, Melik has led you to the barracks where Lord Commander Dardis is. Lord Commander Dardis is the captain of the guard and a former comrade of Melik, and this is also where the prisons are, and you have this prisoner in tow, the thief, who has been fairly silent. His face is beaten up a little bit, and you arrive. As you arrive, this is also the second day in the daytime, as you see, just for a tracker of what day it is and what time it is. You see that there are two standard city guards standing outside the entrance to the barracks as you approach. and just gonna open it up for what you guys want to do in your roleplay. So go ahead.
So Melik will kind of push the cut purse forward, just kind of shove him forward, continue shoving him forward as we get to this city guard. And as he shoves him forward, he looks over at the city guard. This one is for you. We caught him. He was cutting our purses, trying to take our gold. It is for you to handle now.
And the guardsman looks up and kind of steps forward. I see, my friend. Come then. And he reaches out to the cut purse, and he kind of like shies away a bit. I did not do it. They lie.
Kagan will step forward, put a hand on his shoulder, and shove him towards the guard. So they're going. When he says, "We do not lie. Our word is our bond." I will say that Melik's words are true. This one here stole our companion's purse and then fled to the alleyway. Luckily, we were fleet of foot and managed to swoop down upon him.
And the guardsman looks to any other corroborating comments, but seems to believe you. He's like, your day will come before the Lord Commander, and if what you say is true, then you will be spared the punishment of the Khan. He just kind of grabs him by the back of his arm and kind of pulls him forward. The guy's in no shape to really resist much more from that. And the other guardsman steps up and begins to help drag him in.
And Varus would step forward. Is your captain of the guard in? I have business with him as well.
Aye, the Lord Commander is here. Follow us in. And they turn and enter. Breska's like, my captain, do you wish us to stay outside?
I watch the road. I don't expect much trouble, but...
They nod and kind of just... They'll fall in behind you and kind of stand outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. The guard kind of pushes the new captive forward into this room and enter. One of them does, at least. One just kind of steps out of the way and lets you. And the guardsman looks at this back door and knocks on it. Oi, new prisoner coming in. And kind of pulls him back. And another one comes out of this adjoining room here. Grabs a hold of him and pulls him through. And you see him kind of roughly push him forward, and other men come to reach out and grab him. And you don't really know what happens as they kind of throw the door shut as you're standing behind it. They close the door. That leaves you here. This guard sighs and kind of like brushes, basically smacks his hands together and walks this way. Follow me for the captain, my friends. And he walks to this door, knocks on it, and takes a step back. And stepping through that door, briefly, kind of like not letting it open all that much, so you don't get a good look of what's behind there. There's an office. I just don't want to pull it through dynamic lighting right now. and out steps a man Melik knows well, Lord Commander Dardis, who basically was one of the captains in the old king's army, along with Melik. And when he sees Melik, he's like, "Ah, Melik! Good to see you, my friend." And he reaches out to clasp your hand.
Melik reaches, or puts his arm out there too, and kind of locks wrists with him, and he kind of nods at him. Dardis, it is good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. Good to see you. What brings you here? I haven't heard word from you for several weeks.
Yes, well, I have been taking jobs, one here, one there. I am now taking a job with this caravan. Although I am working with this caravan, we were tracking a man. We went to the Fox's Den. You know the Fox's Den. In any case, while we were there searching our quarry, we were taken by a cut purse who took our money. We stopped him, took our money back, and brought him here to you.
Dardis nods and looks at the people around you. I see. And the guardsman nods. Yes, we're processing them now, Lord Commander. Good. Return to your post. And he nods and kind of makes his way back out past Kagan by the door.
I have a question for you, old friend.
Of course.
The quarry we were searching for over at the Fox's Den. His name is Pyter. He's a sniveling little man, an excuse for a man, really. He attempted to have us join him in a nefarious plan to attack one of the people under the protection of our caravan. When we declined, he took off. As we went after him, combat ensued. He was injured and ran away. Any men with injuries come through your premises in the last night?
I'm afraid not, my friend. I've not seen anyone matching that description. Last night was fairly uneventful, for me at least.
Yes, well, I would ask that you keep your ears and eyes to the ground for me, friend. This Pyter, he is wandering around the city. He is injured. His back is against a wall. An injured animal, he is most dangerous when his back is against a wall.
He kind of scratches his chin and one thing real quick. Yeah, he's like, I will keep an eye out. I was wondering, you said you're taking jobs.
I am.
I might have something for you.
I am simply a sellsword now, since our new ruler has taken over command of the city. And then he kind of rolls his eyes a little bit and looks to the side.
Yeah, Dardis doesn't, he just kind of frowns but doesn't say anything. Well, as I told you earlier, you may join my guard if you wish. But that does not sound like it suits you.
I don't think I could ever bring myself to serve that dog, he says, whispered and hushed. But the job you speak of, what is it? How can I help you, friend?
Well, he rubs his chin and looks at everyone else. Introduce me to your friends. I know them not.
Yes. This here is Dardis. He leads a good portion. He is also a guard for the caravan. It is actually 2 caravans that have joined. Dardis helps guard and protect, if not lead the other one.
Guard and protect. I don't lead merchants around. That's Solomon's job.
Well, he is still a leader of men.
And he looks to Haroon.
Haroon gives like a slight bow. Haroon, at your service. I'm
Haroon.
merely a humble caravan guard for the time being.
His blade is as sharp as his tongue. Be careful with him.
Oh, you flatter.
And Dardis kind of looks kind of seeing someone standing in the doorway there. Is that man with you?
He is. That is Kagan, the one standing just outside the door there. He is a quiet type. Solemn, stern, but proud. He makes a fine partner in this company. I think you would like him. Very much so.
Kagan, I was going to do once everything was handled in here, Kagan was going to talk to the guard, but upon hearing his name mentioned, he'll step into the doorway and go to introduce himself, but hear Melik already do it. He just turns to the captain of the guard and he nods.
Well then, Omet. I suppose on Melik's honor, I can give you this information, and you will not speak anything to anyone about it. Is that so?
If I were to speak any secret that you gave me, may my tongue be cut off and fed to the vultures.
He takes a deep breath and he's like, I know you do not like the Khan, Melik, but this is greater than the Khan. This is Stygian interests. And all of you know that Stygia is the great, great evil of, well, in Shim's point of view at least.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
been
probably.
words of a Stygian spy in Shushan. And I need someone that is not officially part of my guard to root them out. I believe it would be easier for someone neutral to do so.
It's most interesting.
A Stygian spy. This is more important than the vile creature we hunt. What is it you need from us?
Find him and capture him if you can. Find him and kill him if you cannot capture him.
What information do you have about this spy?
I have some. He was first noticed by a priestess of Ishtar and reported to us. Apparently he had a brand of the serpent on his chest. In his coitus, he mentioned that something about a snake and let loose his lips with his intent to bring down the Khan. Or at least this is what she has said.
I do want to see the Khan fall. Very badly. But not to Stygia. Not this city. Not these people. This is my home. I will not see it fall into the hands of Stygia.
Yes, everyone would be put to the lash or sacrificed to Set, undoubtedly.
Well, I will discuss it with my comrades here. We will decide if this is something that we can take on as well as protect our caravan. Obviously, that is my job right now. I am getting paid well to do it. It is not something I can turn my back on so easily. But I will keep an eye out. And I will ensure that if I do come across any information, you will be the first to know.
Dardis nods. Says yes, and as well, thinking of you and your coin purse, and he waves over to the wall across from him and behind you. There have been bounties being placed the last few days. People in the city looking for people to do odd jobs for them. I haven't paid much attention, but feel free to peruse them.
Oh, quite an offer.
Well, I appreciate you informing us of this. If this is something that we can do also and help in any way, we shall. Also, if it makes our coin purses a little heavier, that is also good.
Of course. I'm glad you've come by, Malik, so that I could give you this opportunity. Also, of course, for aiding us with the Stygian. There's coin involved, straight from the Khan. You'll accept it?
Well, to help my city and my people, and to take the gold out of the Khan's pocket. That sounds like a very, very good deal.
It is a fine idea indeed.
It seems
Everyone can
Arun
use
likes
coin,
this
eh?
idea.
I do like it quite a bit. It has been a while since I've had any work behind, well, being a simple guard. I must say my blade arm is itching to some degree.
And you, Varys, Kagan, I know this is not your city, and these are not your people. But at the same time, this city should not fall to Stygia.
Before we get too ahead of ourselves, remember we came here with a purpose from our caravan. One that I intend to get rectified before we start taking bounties or searching for strange men cloaking and daggering around this village. Now, Dardis.
He turns to you and he turns and kind of looks to you and nods.
I had some business I wanted to go over from my caravan master. So he said that you knew him, and this is related to like some business that he had. He wanted to bring something. I know there was a side thing he wanted me to do here. So
yeah, he wanted. I thought he wanted you to talk to him about the this the whole Pyter thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll I have a couple of questions.
Hey, nods. Yes, I know Solomon.
Good. He wanted me to. Well, we'd already broached the subject of Pyter, but we'd been very specific. I think that more general things might help us figure things out. You being a captain of the guard, I'm sure you're aware of certain dens of iniquity, places that Pyter could go to get help without having to go through much bureaucracy. Any places that he might be able to have had his wounds tended to without much guff or scuff from the people who run the place.
That is an interesting question. I know there is a man that does some things in Beggar's Row, and Beggar's Row, if you were looking for the scum of the city, that's where you can find them.
Let's see. Pyter being the man he is, I doubt he would seek help from any kind of temple or priestess. Most likely he went to this man. What are the other sorts of dens of iniquity around your city?
Oh, there are various throughout the city, undoubtedly, but and he lists off a couple, but I doubt any of those would have the gumption to heal a man randomly coming up to them with... Did you say he was shot with an arrow?
Yes.
He kind of frowns and... I think that I would have gotten reports on something like that. I have spies throughout the city as well. I have heard nothing, but Beggar's Row is... They would not help me, so if I were him, I would head there. Although, maybe he knows you know that.
Maybe.
And then Melik turns to Dardis, and he has a raised eyebrow. What about Zeb? Do you think Zeb might know something?
And he says, "Was this Pyter a man of means?"
Well, exactly what his means are, I don't know. But he's a thoughtful person. He has escaped us.
Does he have
I'm not-
coin, I mean, Malik?
I would
Unless
imagine
he
he
stole
does
it.
have some coin.
Zeb is a very expensive man.
Well,
Likely too expensive for you either. To be honest, if he knows something, it would cost.
hmm.
And Pyter was a man of particular taste as well. His intent with our caravan guest was not simply to attack her, but also to defile her, kidnap her. He's likely a rapist. Any place where he would go to get his jollies off at a whorehouse.
All the whorehouses, well, and he like catches himself and like kind of bites his lip and kind of looks at Malik and the priestesses of Ishtar disallow such things. If you wish the pleasures of the flesh, you must give a donation to Ishtar and lie with one of their priestesses. There are no whorehouses here. But if a man were looking for such pleasures under the notice of the priestess of Ishtar, as I said, Beggar's Row, or perhaps some illicit dealing with the slaver, Qua. But even he might not be so bold.
Well, I thank you for this, Dardis. You provide us with great information. It seems we have our tasks in mind.
A suitable lead to follow.
He looks back to Malik and says, "Let me know about the Stygian. I will send another 2 or 3 people on the case, but I trust if it will be he will be found, you will be the one finding him. I leave it to you. If you find
Yes,
your Pyter, I would appreciate it."
Yes, we shall find our Pyter. You keep your eyes and ears out for him as well. Make our job end sooner, and then the sooner I could get to work on the Stygian spy.
Nods and very well. And he reaches out and clasps your hand again and nods to Varys and everyone else. And
Yeah, I'll
Kinda
hold my hand out to shake his hand.
yeah, he shakes your hand and kind of steps back through the door. So Kagan, you're questioning the guard.
Yeah.
What do you say to him again?
Basically just be lingering around the back of the door. Kagan's kind of a brusque man. He's short and to the point. Start off with something small, just like, "The weather seems nice today."
And one of the guards like kind of looks around and then looks back to you and nods. "Yes, my friend. Nice enough. Nice enough. Not too warm." And it's probably 95 degrees, right?
Yeah.
This is a desert.
Says, "You think with the sun so bright it would illuminate our prey easily enough, but sadly it does not." Turn if they show an interest.
Yeah, he looks prey.
He says, "Yes, since we come here to turn in this brigand, but we found him while hunting for a fugitive of our own. It seems that our chieftain has sent us out. Our prey is wounded. It knows that we seek him. He probably has friends, but we know not who. I do know that he has one of my arrows in him, and he's wounded. Do you know such places in the city where one might be able to go to tend to their wounds indiscreetly?"
He thinks about it for a moment.
I've heard tales of butchers sometimes performing battle or tending to wounds of soldiers. Something about their knowledge of anatomy and stitchery.
The guard, he nods. He's like, I believe I do. And he kind of... Yes, there's a man in Beggar's Row. Call him the Butcher. He has aided some. I believe he came with the Khan. Or at least with the influx of people after the Khan took over. Set up shop there. Not a pleasant experience, so I've heard, but there were many after the wars that could not afford the priestess's touch. And so they went to him, and he made a small fortune on his, and he kind of does the air quotes, gifts.
Could definitely be a trail worth pursuing. The Butcher on Beggar's Row, and he'd, of course, try to get him to elaborate further if you would give directions there.
Yeah, he gives directions to Beggar's Row. And, he doesn't know exactly where the Butcher is in Beggar's Row. It's a fairly long section of the city. The dregs. Many injured from the war and destitute have flocked there, refugees. Not all are bad people, but those that are have used it and climbed to the top. It is in chaos currently because, well, there was a gang lord there named Korba who was killed by the Lions of Ranveer. And you detect he was going to say something else, but...
I'm not going to pursue. He's the one telling me stuff, so... Says, so it seems that this den of iniquity is without a proper leader then.
Yes, I've heard there's been fighting amongst themselves.
I can only imagine how hectic this must make your jobs.
Yes, this month I am lucky that I get to guard the barracks and not to do patrols on the street. We've had several guards killed in the last few days.
Melech walks out, when he's telling Kagan about Korba being killed during, Ranveer's invasion. And he said, probably the only good outcome of Ranveer's invasion of our city. Korba being killed. That vile human. The city is better off without him.
Yes. It was very strange. He died, and then one of the lions died, but they say that the lion died in the presence of the Khan. Said the Khan killed him. Very strange stuff. The emirs of Shushan have not been seen since very often.
You have a lead, Kagan.
Plead with the guards, and he'll pocket a silver each, and basically give them a handshake. Says, "Well, I thank you very much for your time and your information. Says, please allow me to buy you a moment's brevity when your shift ends." Then he'll pocket a silver each.
Well, thank you, sir. Many blessings of Ishtar to you.
May the winds always be at your back, and your eyes ever forward. He'll grab his bow and saunter up with the rest of the group.
Yep. Haroon kind of eyes up any particular wanted posters or any such bounties. Seeing if there's anything that looks like it's down in Beggar's Row before he heads out.
There are two bounties. One is a just to give you a very, very brief synopsis, so don't bog it down too much if you're not going to do it. But one is a request from a shepherd to help protect his flock outside of Shushan, and one is looking for a missing daughter. There's nothing that suggests anything to do with Beggar's Row that you can tell.
Yeah, he figures, what the heck. Grabs the one for the missing daughter. That seems curious. So he'll grab that and head out with the others.
Okay. Do you want to take time to look it over, or I can give you a further description?
Yeah, he'd figure out if there's anything. If there's like, unless it's like the type of board where you just grab it down and figure you'll take care of it.
Yeah, I assume you read it, so I might as well just give you.
Yeah, he'd read it all up.
So there's a bounty. Just give you a brief description. There's a bounty of 4 gold for the safe return of his daughter. Basically, he claims that he had sent her to the dyer in the bazaar, and that basically she was there to pick up some of the dye and bring back to his shop. He's a clother, and she never returned. And he's looking for her successful return.
Yeah, Haroon would kind of grab it up and take mental note of everything, and yeah.
I like this. This has a Skyrim feel to it.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, your quest board is, or whatever, quest list are popping up, right?
Oh man, notifications.
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, he'd come out, and Varus would gesture over to Bruska and Jasper to rejoin them. Alright.
Have we been gone long enough to would it actually warrant us returning to report things to my brother?
Not necessarily. You are. It's been a couple hours. It's getting towards. Probably you would need to. It'll probably be nighttime by the time you get to Beggar's Row. By whatever you have to do, you can go back to. It's late afternoon, so you could if you want to. You don't have to. That's up to you.
We're going. I'm going to Beggar's Row. So. But yeah, I would
send one of your men to relay the information. That's what they're there for.
They're there to die for me, but sure, I guess. So I would.
Yeah, Kagan's face would grow a little grim in thought as he's sharing a story about the butcher. Kind of looks like he was wanting to do something.
It's probably Beggar's Row. I'd wager.
After Kagan tells the information that he got from the city guard, Melik will just kind of nod approvingly to the idea of going to Beggar's Row. I know right where Beggar's Row is. I have been there many a time. I will take us if this is what you choose to do now.
Right. We should inform the caravan of our plan.
I too was thinking my brother needs to know where we're at.
Bruska, return to the caravan. Tell them of our intent, where we're planning to go, what we're doing.
Of course, my captain. I will.
Good man.
I will fill Solomon in immediately.
Thank you, Bruska. Good man. Jasper, you're with us.
And Bruska kind of walks off this way and departs, and Jasper walks over and nods. Puts his hand over his whatever weapon he has. He's just got a spear. I am ready.
Alright, Melik. It's your world. Go ahead and lead us through it.
Yes, friend, we're off. And Melik will go ahead and start leading them to Beggar's Row.
Cool.
Go black for a second for you guys.
Now we can't go back. Great.
Loading, please wait.
Yeah, that's right.
It's flat screen in there.
At the mention of going to Beggar's Row, Kagan will take his coin purse and tuck it inside his pants.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Flip it over on the inside and cinch the belt real tight.
Yeah, might be a good idea as well.
I am cinching the sack around my sack, and
You're about to take some penalties.
I'm assuming we wear those sumo gi cloth diaper things, so I want to cinch it. I want to cinch it on the inside of my underwear. That way, it doesn't get cut. It doesn't get cut and fall down my pants leg.
I'm just gonna. If somebody grabs for my coin purse, they're just dying. No one cares about these fucking people here. So, how the fuck do I care?
Pretty much.
That way, if anybody goes, "Give me bus fare," I'm going to be reaching down the front of my pants, digging.
All right.
From Run the Chief.
so basically, we've all secured our coin purses extra tight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I direct Jasper to do the same so he doesn't lose his good money because he did get a gold today. I'd like to see the young man prosper.
All right. So, you head to Beggar's Row, and you realize it's extremely dark in this area. There's a few lights ahead that you see. You see basically a bunch of alleyways and lean-tos and shanties, and you hear the the hint of running water. Melik knows there's a small stream in this area that is used for multi-purpose. Drinking, bathing, waste, right? The old medieval crap where you drink, right? So there are you hear the low murmur of voices and laughing and talking and that kind of thing. You see a couple people walking around. You see this guy kind of stumbling drunkenly over this way, next to basically a torch that's been set up on the road. It's lit currently. He's kind of leaning against it.
Kagan will lean to Haroon, because Haroon's the only one I really had interaction with. Kagan will lean down to Haroon and he'll just go, stride purposefully, carry yourself with an air, trust no one, believe nothing.
And Melik will turn to the. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Haroon.
Oh, he just said you speak wisdom.
Yeah, Melik will turn to the group. Guard your purses. There will be many thieves here, all of them desperate for a single coin.
Varus would walk to.
One of the few times Kagan will grin, a little gap-toothed grin, and just go, "What purse? I have no money."
Just a sizable bulge, I take it.
Varus will walk up to this guy. You, drunkard.
What? And he just he looks up at you, and all of a sudden kneels over and vomits all over your boots.
Oh my gosh.
Grab him by the back of his head and make him look me in the eye. Now you certainly owe me information, or else you owe me for my boots.
What? What? Information?
The butcher. Where?
Oh, yeah, but you got meat for me? Butcher pigs out.
I'm gonna slap him.
Oh, you smack him across the face. What? Wow!
Where's the butcher of Beggar's Row?
Kagan's going defensive, looking around because he doesn't like this questioning tactic.
Yeah,
we are in. Yeah, it's like beating on a rat and then suddenly realizing you're surrounded by rats. Yeah, it's.
He seems very a little confused, obviously. Why don't you go ahead and roll persuade?
Oh shit! All right, let me take a look here. See if I don't think I have anything that changes it.
Yeah.
Persuade.
Quick status for your Doom and Momentum pool. I think you have one.
I know
momentum.
we don't have shit from him. We have one? I won't use it yet. This is fine. We'll go 2 dice on it. Done.
Alright, so let me see.
He ain't that drunk.
I don't know, Eddie Butcher. If you get any meat, I'll eat the meat.
Pathetic wastrel. And throw him to the side.
And he just kind of bounces off this lean-to and just kind of slumps to the ground, sitting in his own vomit.
Let's find another more cooperative soul.
Yeah, Kagan's gonna slink and hop from shadow to shadow. Always observant. He's a hunter by nature, so.
Lars is just walking straight down the path like a jackass.
Just let me know when you want to stop or do anything.
Right here, what's up with these folk? What are they up to?
Yeah, so you see this like commotion in the corner. You're not exactly sure what's going on. You don't really hear. Well, actually, why don't you do an observation? Difficulty is.
Hey!
So that's 2. That's probably good enough. So you see this. You think she's in her early teens, and a man. They seem to be in some sort of, not a state of undress, but she is on her knees in front of him.
Huh. Does it seem consensual?
You don't know. I mean, it's darkness.
Oh, I've never been shy about interrupting people, so let's go ahead. Boris is clink, clank, clink his armor clicking.
Yeah, they separate, and he kind of scurries this way a little bit, and she kind of turns around. What you doing?
Walking. What are you doing?
What, is that any of your business? You from the priesthood?
Priesthood? Do I look like a fucking priest to you?
No, you look like an old man.
Answer this old man's questions and I'll let you get back to your trade.
This guy's like kind of hustling away. Hey, you haven't paid me! And she like kind of turns back towards you and it's like, you owe me 5 copper.
Only if you give me information first.
What information you want, old man?
The butcher. Where?
You don't look hurt.
Doesn't matter how I look. It matters how much you want to get paid. You want no money or you want 10 coppers?
10 coppers? She looks at you very...
Once again, Kagan will make sure that these soldiers' blatant bait of a questioning method doesn't attract a horde of angry or hungry beggars.
And she looks at you like, are you really serious? 10 copper for that information?
And I just look at her sternly. I'm waiting.
He's up the road a spell. I could take you there.
Good. Lead the way.
And she kind of scratches her chin ever so slightly. All right. Follow me then. And she kind of walks around. She kind of wipes her mouth off and heads up the road a spell.
Fern kind of hazards a question to her as they walk. I don't suppose any daughter of a clothier may have come to take up such a trade recently.
Daughter of a clothier? I hope not. These are my streets. Mine and my mother's.
Amazing setting to be true.
And she walks this way, Estelle. And she kind of turns and comes over here and says, "Up the road. I dare not go any closer. He is finicky about who approaches."
Is he likely to bolt?
No, he's likely to stick an arrow in you or a crossbow. He thinks you're a problem.
We'll see how he does. I'll root around, and he's got the coppers in his hand, and he goes to drop them into hers. And sort of holds it over her hand, waiting for her to put her hand below his.
She does. You give her the money.
Yeah, as I'm giving it to her, say, "Now, if this is a trap or you led us the wrong way, I have a way of finding you, young lady."
I doubt it, old saggy bottom.
Don't doubt me for a moment. Now, scram, bugger off.
Buggering off, and she takes the coins and kind of heads this way. "I need to find my John," says. "He owes me 5 copper."
Alright. Everyone make ready. I don't expect he's going to be cooperative.
Which way did she point? I mean,
North.
Yeah,
Down the road,
along this path, right?
along that path, okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, just relax. If you do not seem threatening, no one will think such.
I look at Jasper and look at him and her runes. I don't think we can look non-threatening.
Oh, it comes with the job, I suppose.
I don't see many others here wearing armor. The only way you can look in armor is threatening.
Take mine off to fit in. Rather be alive than dead. As we're walking along, Varus is probably gonna slowly draw his sword from the scabbard.
Hold on one sec, guys. So as you approach, there's a light in one of the huts, and you see, and this is actually not even a hut; it's an open kind of lean-to, and so you see a man kind of sitting there, and there's a bench behind him with various knives and blades and various things like that, and there's a table, and he's kind of sitting on the ground with his he has a bottle in his hand. He's just drinking with this dim light kind of illuminating him as Malik walks up, and he looks up and he has a crossbow in his hand, and he kind of swings it in your direction. And "What do you want?"
And Malik, who hasn't drawn his weapon, puts his hands up. "Well met, good sir. I am simply here to ask about maybe a patient you have had recently."
And he just looks at you blankly. don't speak about my patients. Patient, doctor, confidentiality. And he kind of smiles.
Well, I understand you are a professional. And as a professional, you deserve to get paid as such. And he reaches down into his pants and kind of he reaches deep down into his pants and pulls his coin sack out and holds it up in his hands that he's still holding up and just kind of shakes it. And you, sir, I know, are a professional.
He looks kind of aghast by this, and he's like, I smell your sweaty balls on your coin purse right from here. And he kind of turns his nose, and he's like, I don't know that you could pay me enough. Tell me. Depends who you're looking for and how much they paid. And how much you have to offer.
Well, we are simply looking for a friend who was injured. We were trying to help him. He was taken by bandits, shot in the chest with an arrow. He disappeared before we could get to him. We were trying to help him recover, but we are afraid that he is in fear of his life, thinking the bandits that tried to take him are still out there. Is there any way you could point us into his direction?
What were his wounds?
He took an arrow to the chest.
Arrow to the chest, you say? Smiles. I might have seen an arrow in the chest. Why don't you roll persuasion for me?
Okay. If I can find it, I found it.
Starts with P.
Yep.
So he basically, for 2 gold, I can tell you where that person might be and what I know.
Well, as you can see, I am a poor man myself. While a professional just like you, I can offer you 1 gold.
Very well.
Very well. And I reach into the purse and I take out the gold and I hold it up and show him. Now, where is our friend? We wish to help him.
Well, I saw him with Gerd. They were
Gerd.
talking.
Who is this Gerd?
Gerd is one of Korba's old men. Runs this part of Beggar's Row.
Ah, that would make sense. Where did you last see them?
I did not see him. He's asked me who he should talk to about a certain favor. And he looks up. It was killing men. Killing men, he said, were likely coming after him to find him. Seems strange.
Yes, the bandits. He was very worried that they would be after him. That's why we are trying to look for him, to help protect him.
He just kind of gives you kind of look, and Gerd's house is across the river. And he kind of just points in the general direction of this way.
Thank you very much, Butcher. Your professionalism is well met. And he kind of flicks the coin, with his thumb, flings it into the air at him.
If you're ever injured or he nearly kills you but you live, come here. I'll sew up your wounds.
You would be the first man I seek out, should I need my injuries treated.
And he nods and takes the coin and throws it into a little tin with various other coins and takes a swig off his bottle.
So Melech comes back and he informs the rest of the group what he found out from the butcher. He's with Gerd. He seems to be the one that has taken over in the place of Korva. Now that there is a vacuum for leadership in this area, this seems to be the person who is in contention for this leadership. It seems Pyter has taken up with him. He probably feels there is safety in this group.
Well, I take it you know his whereabouts.
Well, I know the direction he went and who he went seeking. It shouldn't be too hard from here to find him.
Very good. We should pursue them before it gets too late.
Varus Kagan, does this plan sound sufficient to you?
As long as it leads us to our quarry.
If our cowardly dog has found a new pack to run with, I say that we try to not be so blunt in our approach. Perhaps we could try to cross the river from somewhere other than the bridge. Work our way amongst the shadows. Reconnaissance the region first.
It is a good idea. Assess their numbers, if there are suitable numbers to concern.
No need risking bloodshed if it's unnecessary.
Indeed. A swift dagger can see just as swift an end as a battle, if not far swifter. Would you like to take a look?
I'm more concerned on putting my life in peril, and our damn Peter's not even here.
True. But the information may be valuable nonetheless, yes?
You're assuming that the butcher's words were even true.
Exactly. But we do not have much else to go on, do we? So, questions we must ask.
It is a lead. It is the only lead we have, so it is the one lead we must follow.
I agree.
Okay, he'll kind of look a little dejected and he'll go up from the darkness.
Well, there is another bridge south of us. We can cross there, and then we can sneak up north to where... What was this new leader's name, sorry?
Gerd.
Gerd. We can sneak up north to where Gerd resides. Shall we?
I suppose that should work. Unless you would like me to scout ahead. More discreetly.
I think that's actually a good idea. Haroon's like a shadow. I barely ever see him in camp, even when he's on patrol.
I could see what I can see. Just
Very well. Move as a shadow, as a hawk in the night.
Very good.
I will lend what cover and aid I can.
Very good.
Yeah, a lot of the lights are going out around camp. Some of them are, so it's getting darker and darker.
Yeah, and you said it was up around that way.
Yeah, it's really right across here is where he's pointing.
Pretty much. Okay. Yeah.
It looks like it's this building.
Well then.
Are these lights on torches?
Yes.
I'm probably gonna steal one. Well, I don't know. Steal is the right word, but I'm probably gonna take one.
Okay. Can do.
Well then, I will take a look. And Haroon
You are
makes it
torched.
look like he heading off in that direction before he kind of circles around into the shadows and hops the river like so.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bridge south. There's actually a bridge.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, you can get across. It's not,
He's looking to go for the one, the closest to a place that people wouldn't think to see him cross, which would probably be to hop it.
Okay, so Melek suggests that we all go together, but then Varus, Jasper, and I kind of stay back while Harum and Kagan kind of scout the area out.
You're walking. You don't see if anything of real importance. You just see people doing a lot of bad things, or just people like in total like poverty, basically. People that aren't doing anything wrong but are still, pretty awful. Really refugees, like people crying, babies wailing, just. And then you also see the things of like kind of like what you saw when you got here. And Varus has a torch that he's got with you that's kind of shining the way for you guys.
Yeah, Harun is staying well to the edge of it for the most part, making sure he's in the more shadowy spots of buildings. So can we really, he'd kind of pull up the edge and stuff and see what you can see around the building.
Yeah, so the entrance to the building is on this side. You can tell from here that it is it actually does have 4 walls, which is kind of unusual for this place. So it's like kind of fancy for the area a little bit. And but that one seems to be open air. You hear, first you see this person standing out front. He's kind of leaning against it a little bit, and he looks like he might be some sort of guard or something.
Okay. And does it seem like there's any other opening or maybe a weak spot that could be just pried open a little bit by a dagger? Or?
No, I mean, this is like basically. Well, actually, you could if you snuck around the back, you might be able to see in. It's not well made. There could be slats in the wood that keeps this thing standing. Period.
Yeah, he'd try and sneak up closer and get a look in if he can.
Okay, why don't you first roll stealth?
Yeah. Oh wait. Okay, cool. And then I get 1 momentum using stealth to try and remain hidden. If it succeeds, it does.
So you got a complication, so you get a momentum, and I get a doom. Actually. So you get a complication. So you get up there close enough to see inside, and you see that you look inside. Well, actually, here's what I'm gonna say. You get close enough, and you don't think you're heard, but you can't find a way to see through on this side of the building. At the very least.
Is it thin enough to maybe hear what's going on inside?
Yeah, you can hear. So, I mean, the walls aren't particularly thick.
Yeah.
You hear basically 2 people talking in hushed tones, but it's hard to actually hear what they're saying. Every once in a while you hear armor, coin, stuff like that.
Okay. And it probably sounds like there's just about 2 people inside, probably.
You believe so? There's definitely a conversation going on, unless somebody's talking to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So Harun kind of signals to Varus, 2 inside, 1 outside.
I don't think Varus would be able to see you.
Oh yeah, he'd sneak back over to him then.
Okay.
Yeah. It sounds like there is probably 2 inside, unless others more quiet than I can hear. And the guard out front.
How many entrances?
And 1, from appearances, in the very front. Open walled. But they may have some sort of hatch. You never know with these type.
Sure. Okay. Plans of action, anyway.
How about you, Jasper and Melek, approach from the front? Businesslike. Calm. Kagan take one side and I take the other, just in case they try to flee from some hidden place. And if not, and things go wrong, we will be ready to ambush them. You simply lure them out.
Is that structure made of nothing but wood?
It should be pretty weak, I believe. It did look like it was slats and such.
Yeah, it's wood and probably worse, right?
Yes, it seems pretty fragile.
Well, I've got a torch. We could just set it ablaze.
If worst comes to worst, perhaps see if their tongues are loose enough anyway.
Varus, why don't you roll insight?
Yeah, Kagan's got an eyebrow raised at that. Risk burning down this entire part of town.
You have a
Yes. The blaze is probably the worst idea I have heard all night. You don't know who's inside. They may be innocent. You don't know where that blaze, those embers could jump to, killing more innocent people. I understand force is what you know, but force will not work here. Not like that.
A last resort proposition. That's all. We should be able to take a few fools hiding around in houses anyway. But if things go south, take the torch.
Worst
In it to
comes to
ruin.
worst. One must focus on survival. I agree. But
Well,
if it can be avoided, though, yes.
well, we have someone here who can kill quietly, from what I understand. Harun, what if you were to take that guard out? And then we go inside and simply confront whoever is inside.
Honestly, I think it may be suitable to just approach with you three. And if you can keep them distracted, the guard may simply fall asleep on duty. Who knows where he might go? It give you time to ask questions without any stress or worry on their part. And if things turn sour, we will be there to assist.
I just worry about them becoming spooked inside if they hear their god talking to someone outside. If they hear their god talking to someone outside, they may become prepared. They may grab their arms.
Oh, I do not intend to talk, my friend.
No, but if I'd approach from the front, the god may shout out to me, "Halt, who goes there?" or something along those lines.
I suppose.
Alright. Time to make a choice. Harun, kill the guard out front, and then we'll batter down the door and take both the fools inside by force.
And supplies.
Very well. You ask it, so it shall be done. I have no qualm with the guard.
Good. The rest of you with me, let's stack up and...
Kagan, could you draw your bow and have it set on that guard, just in case things don't go quite as planned?
You look kind of not really cool with the whole the conflict that's going on. He'll just, yes, I could.
In the meanwhile, Harun will sneak around the backside, around near there, if that's
Go ahead
suitable.
go ahead and give me a stealth.
All right, I got that one momentum, so I'll use that.
Okay.
It's a good call. Fairly important to not fuck this up. Oh, baby.
5 dice is quite comfortable.
Oh my god.
Yep. So you get 2 momentum from that.
Nice.
And yeah, you're pretty sure he doesn't. He's just kind of leaning there, kind of bored.
So I'll, is it suitable for me to do an exploit so that I can prepare and use my dagger to the utmost?
Yeah.
Alright, so observation. Let me, there we go. Alright, that hits the 1. And then let me see. I will go
So you
in.
get piercing 2, right, for exploits with it.
Yep, and it triggers my dagger's intense, which means if I deal a wound, it would deal another. I don't think it'll matter with the scar, potentially, but we'll see.
And Melik is pulling his sword and shield out as all this is going on.
As well as vicious, which is super nice. Because that means I'm about to attack him, if that's suitable.
Yep, go ahead.
Alright, where's my dagger? Oh, there's my boy. Alright, and target, just 2 or 1 or...
You mean for... What do you mean?
I guess I've got him under surprise anyway, so...
Yeah, it's just 1.
Cool.
So it's just
I'll do that.
Use a momentum. Oh, never mind.
And then yeah, because with Vicious, all of those effects are another 1, so that's 8. And it deals 2 wounds instead of 1.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah, so how do you kill him?
Yeah, so he very quietly slips up behind the guy. One hand over the mouth, the other up through the neck into the skull. Nice and quiet like. And just kind of pulls him back away from near the front.
Yep. You just execute him. And you kind of notice, now that you're kind of more over towards where he was right here, that kind of the front actually is 2 giant curtains, basically. It's not actually a solid wall.
Okay.
And you hear kind of clearly now that one of the... Actually, do an opposite... Well, nah, you don't have to. You notice that one voice is female.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Yeah. Haroon would kind of slip back to the edge here near the torch and kind of signal them. And then...
Blades out. Time to go
and then back up front.
Okay, gonna creep, trying to keep to the shadows.
And they're what is it, curtains?
Yeah, they're basically curtains. Like, you just draw them open.
Damn, can't kick a door down.
No door to kick down. You could probably kick down the building if you wanted, but...
No, that's alright. Maybe next time. Get Melik and Haroon for the curtains, and then nod whenever they're ready.
Melik grips his, shield and sword, and he nods that he's ready.
Draw it back.
Haroon keeps to the shadows just in case.
What do you do?
Draw the curtain back.
Oh, you draw the curtain back? So, you're expecting to see a little bit different than what you do. You see laying on the ground is someone familiar with a man with blankets thrown over them. And they both shoot up, startled. What's going on? And they clearly see Varys is holding the torch. And the girl's like, oh, it's this sod again. And he's
He
like,
did say he would find her.
again? And she's like, this is the one that took away your 5 coppers, Gerd. And he's like, oh. You're the one in here asking questions about where they can find the butcher, interrupting my business, and now interrupting my pleasure.
Well, perhaps I'll give you one back then. Gerd, I presume.
He nods.
Did she tell you about the 10 coppers she got from me?
He kind of looks at her sidelong and then looks back at you. What do you want? Couldn't find the butcher? Couldn't follow simple directions? And she kind of snickering in the corner.
Found him just fine. The whole provide directions. Looking for someone else now.
Who?
Pyter.
Pyter? It's kind of questioningly. And she's like, she like rolls her eyes and she's like, I'm going home. And
No.
she like looks, what do you mean, no?
No one's going anywhere until I get answers.
I don't know any Pyter. I need to go home. My mother will be wondering where I'm at.
I don't care about your mother. I don't care where you need to go. Sit down and shut up.
And Gerd stands up and he's like, I wouldn't talk to my friends in such a way, stranger. He stands up and he's completely naked. And there's a weapon in the corner, but he doesn't go for it. He's like, all I have to do is call out. 20 men will rush this area, cut you to ribbons. Be polite.
All the same, I'll have my questions answered.
Firstly, don't know what Pyter is. Secondly, wouldn't tell you if I did.
I know the language all you gutter rats speak. And he sort of pats his coin purse. So if there's coin in it, do you happen to know him? Or know where he is?
Don't know where he is.
Let me insight that. Yeah, doesn't know where he is.
You don't know. I mean, you don't know if he's lying or not. Can't get a beat on it.
Any
You
chance
kind
we
of-
could...
Yeah, go ahead.
This isn't what the butcher told me.
Yeah, I figure we're all kind of listening, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Anybody can insight if they
Yeah.
How much money was in there? 3?
click status.
Yeah, show
yeah.
you.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'll use 1.
Okay.
He's a better man than me. Holy shit, Haroon's good at this game.
Haroon is having a good day.
Yeah, so... Hold on a second.
Oh, I forgot my awareness is baller. Haroon, kind of off to the side where they can't quite see, shrugs.
And Varus is looking at him like, what?
He kind of
Gerd-
does like
Yeah,
the symbol for coin and then, waves his hands like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Gerd basically just says, I'm growing tired of this. You're interrupting me and asking me about things I do not care about. You don't look like a rich man. I probably have far more coins than you. Get out of here. You're annoying me.
The butcher said that you had information on where Pyter was, that you were helping him. I want to know.
You're not listening to me. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to turn around and leave, or else I'm going to call my guards. Speaking of, where is my guard outside? Did you kill him? That is very, very, very bad for you.
I didn't kill him, but I did enjoy watching him die. And you can cry out if you want to, Gerd. There are 20 dead bodies waiting to be filling these streets. I'm a very serious man, and you are going to treat me with more respect than you have been.
You look like an old fuck to me. And he reaches over in the back and grabs just reaches kind of slowly. There's a crossbow on a small little table, and he kind of puts his hand on it. He doesn't like pull it up at you. He's like, one more chance, old man.
You're giving me an awful lot of chances for someone so sure of themselves, Gerd.
And this girl's like, I am leaving. I'm not being a part of this. And she goes to try to make her way out, like dashing. naked.
I'll try to grab her.
All right, so she's going to roll athletics, and you're going to roll athletics.
I'm pretty bad at this game.
So she gets by you into the street, but she falls down right about there.
Jasper, the whore.
And as she's in the street, she's screaming, "Gerd's being attacked! Gerd's being attacked!"
Damn it. And at that, I use my shield to kind of rush him and pin him down against the wall.
Oh, that's right. I got a shield. I forgot about that.
Melik, go ahead and roll your athletics.
If you fall through the wall into the river.
Melik's good.
So I kind of do this shield bash kind of thing as he was, kind of putting his hand on his crossbow. As soon as he was distracted by the girl running out, I rushed in and slammed him with my shield and bashed him and pinned him against the wall.
He met you, though.
No, that's good enough. If it's a meet, you succeed. Yeah, you pin him against the wall, and he just kind of like puts his hands up, and he's like, "I've done nothing. I'm just telling you, people are not going to like what you're doing here."
Now listen, just because you took over for that old rat that was running this place before you, doesn't give you the right to act like the bigger rat now. Where is Pyter? That's all we wanted to know. Where is Pyter? And if you think your men are going to come rushing in to help you, we can have this hut burned down with you inside of it in no time at all. Where is he?
Where is Pyter? Pyter? Is that who you were asking me about? Don't know. And, so what is Kagan and Varus and Haroon doing?
Haroon ready some throwing knives.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
He's just getting ready, okay.
Yeah, he's preparing.
What is
He's
Varus?
really low. Sorry.
Ordering Jasper to grab the whore, and we're dragging her back to Gerd and throwing her back in there.
He can get over there right now. This is all kind of happening kind of quick.
Yeah, and I'm moving with him, obviously.
Yeah. Kagan, what are you doing?
I have my bow drawn and arrow knocked and drawn back, and I'm targeting the whore as she runs.
She's kind of tripped in front of you, but yeah.
Yeah, gun instinct is to shoot her, but he's quickly going from her. If he sees that they're running towards her, he's going back to where the group was inside. So I guess he would be ready in an action.
Okay. So Jasper, right? Okay. So you kind of like, you're like over top of her at this point. So kind of about that time.
Yeah, Haroon would be ready and waiting for someone to approach to get a dagger in the face.
Sword out, but no shield for Varus because I've got the torch in my hand.
Shield and throwing knives all day long.
What the fuck?
It's great because if they close, you can still stab them in the face.
Yeah, just save a knife.
Yeah.
It's the one that's taped to the inside of the shield.
Exactly.
Do not throw.
So, vaguely kind of coming up the road, you see a group of men. What's going on here? Let her go. Who are you?
Mind your tongue, or we'll cut Gerd's out. Stay where you are. If you approach, she dies, and so does he. Think carefully.
And they're just kind of creeping up. They don't approach any further. There's 5 of them that you can see, just barely, but you're not sure what's going on. And they're like, let her go. Let Gerd go, or we'll rush you.
Then they'll both die, and it'll be on your heads. I mean, that's what you want. Now shut up and stand there, or I'll collect all your eyes myself.
You hear a voice kind of, now.
Mother...
That seems very interesting. Look who's come! Look who's come to the Beggar's Road! And he kind of pushes forward and peeks in the front, but keeps these guys like kind of a buffer in between him so he can't be shot. And he kind of looks, he's like, ah, yes, Kagan, you dog. You dog.
Is there any way I could attempt to slip around, like this way and down behind?
Yeah, go ahead and
Use momentum.
roll stealth. Hold on 1 second here. Let me do
Yeah.
one thing.
If I could, I'd like to roll mine, because that was my whole thing, was to try and not be seen.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. I just did something wrong.
It's all good.
If you guys are stealthy, use momentum on both of these. I'm just saying.
Well, the best part is if I'm stealthy, I get more momentum back.
Do it.
Ooh.
Oh.
The grid just came in.
Grid's
So move with the grid in mind. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's even though we're talking, let's do our stealth rolls first.
Okay, so I presume I'm in this grid here, yeah?
Yep, you're in that grid.
Alright, stealth roll.
So Haroon and Kagan can both roll.
Yeah,
stealth.
I'll use one momentum.
Maybe that's a comp. That's a comp, though.
Yeah.
So you get a momentum back, but you can only how moving stealthily. I'm gonna say you can remain in stealth, but you can't move out of your square. You're moving too slowly. You have to very slowly.
So I'm kind of getting up towards the edge, but I'm not.
Yes. So you're
yeah.
at the edge.
I'm not getting far yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you can go ahead and roll.
Yeah, I'll spend the momentum as well.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. So you get 2 back.
I'll tell you, those
Okay,
complications.
So he doesn't say anything about Kagan, but he basically he looks at, where's Kagan, your dog, and Haroon
Oh,
and Melik. I just see the old man out here.
You said, if I can't shoot him, or I can shoot him?
I mean, you can try, but it'd be difficult because he's kind of in a crowd of people.
Yeah, he's used them
And
as
it's
far.
dark.
I will shoot the guy that's in front of him then.
Oh my.
So, I will use. So if we're starting combat, I'm using Doom to go first.
Oh.
So, wrong way. Sorry. I use 2 Doom to have my guy move, but he moves at Varus and attacks. He does not see Kagan. And he's wielding a hatchet, and he swings it at you. Alright, 1 success. Do you want to try to react? Use a reaction? That's a
Yeah, Parry's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm just wondering what.
So you have to give me Doom to parry. You have to give me 2 Doom to even attempt to parry. Or is it 1? I think it's 1.
Yeah, parry is
No, it's a 0 for a sword because it's minus 1.
yeah, the first one I think
Right.
is 0, and then it's 1 for each one after if you have parrying. Is
If
it?
you have parrying. If you have parrying.
So I'll try to parry this one. So I really don't want to eat that.
Yeah, it reduces it by 1 for parrying. Yep.
And we have 4 momentum, so I'll use 1. So I don't want to get fucking banged on. Shit.
Yep. So is it when you parry? Do you have to beat it? Or do you
I thought you had to meet. Let me check.
Let me see. I just had it up as well.
Rules. Combat summary. Parry actions. Defend.
Sorry, it's been a while.
No, I don't fucking know either.
It should be like right here. here. Where was it? Ah, there it is, yeah. So... Oh, because it's a struggle, so then I gotta find struggle.
Yeah, it's
Probably going to be a meat attacker win, since that's usually what it is, but I'll look and see. I could probably...
98.
I don't even know why I'm doing it.
Control F is my best friend. Alrighty.
The character achieving the greatest momentum succeeds.
Clears
Because
mine.
a tie, a player wins. Unless the game master spends 1 point of doom, which I will,
Nice, there you go.
which
Yeah.
will make you hit.
He had a
So you're
complication too.
Did he? I mean, look.
Yep, hatchet.
He drops his weapon. So you take 4 damage to your vigor.
Minus soak.
Yep, minus soak on your right arm.
1.
What is that?
It's soak
1.
3, so 1.
Okay.
Ooh, that
Put it
good
in
arm.
your green bubble. What's your vigor, by the way? Will everybody fill out their bubbles? Red bubble is vigor.
Oh, yeah.
Find mine. I have 8. Ooh, I'm a baby boy.
So he drops his weapon. Go ahead, Kagan, you are now up.
You said red is vigor?
Yeah, just put your vigor total in there.
Wrong one. There we go.
Should I put my max in there and then one
Yeah,
is
just
green?
put your max in there, and then your green will be what you take.
And I'll put soak for...
Do my marksman minor action.
Okay.
What is that one additional momentum? Is it can be used for the attack?
Yes, you can use it for the attack. It would buy you an extra die.
We
Yeah.
got 4 momentum in there, so if you think you're gonna hit pretty hard.
Well, 3 now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, burned 1 to suck.
Marksman, and it's a range 1, so that would increase the difficulty, but shoot for the horizon should reduce that.
Yeah, you're in medium range right now.
I couldn't hear you.
You're in medium range currently.
Yeah, I think shoot further horizon has reduced it by 1. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's
it'd
back
be
down to
1
base.
difficulty 1. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it's my connection or y'all, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
hear
Yeah,
us?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay, I think it's because I had the Conan rulebook up, man. So it's a what, difficulty 1?
Mhm.
Yes, it's difficulty 1. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd fly with the horse bow from stealth. And like I said, since I can't get him, I'll shoot the guy right in the chest when he's asking for me. I'll use that 1 momentum for marksman to add 1 die to the attack.
There you go.
Okay. So you use the momentum. So 4 damage. That
You
is.
could use momentum to increase damage as well and get it up to a nice 5
You
for
could.
Yeah, I got what, 2 momentum from the attack itself, 2 effects.
Yeah, I don't think your weapon has any really effect. Volley. You could volley. If you want, but that's not really helpful unless somebody.
And plus for increased damage.
Yeah, you could, because 2
Yeah.
momentum's enough to do a second attack at -1, or you could up the damage and make sure it's a wound.
Yeah, I'll spend 2 to get another shot. Or is it? Yeah, swift action.
Yep.
This one wouldn't. This would be -1, or it'd be 1 to the difficulty.
Yeah, plus 1 to the difficulty.
I can't use the marksman because that was already used for the initial attack. Because you can't have multiple minor actions, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I will spend 1 momentum from the pool, though, to make it a 3 die. Attacks. So that's what, 4 to the right leg.
So, yeah, okay. Just so you know, just because this is kind of a first combat, if you minions, if he is a minion, if you think he's a minion, they can only take 1 harm before they're dead.
Mhm.
So if you bumped up your, but you don't know what a soak is. So I mean, just keep those in mind.
Okay.
Because we have momentum in the pool you could use for the second attack, so you could put that 2 you got from the attack you just did into damage. It'll give you about 6 damage there, so you know he's probably a peasant, probably no more than 1 soak, so you know it's probably going to hit 5 and out him right off the bat.
Yeah, there's some nice damage.
It's up to you guys. I'm just giving you options.
Yeah, that's just thing for gameplay right now. 2 arrows would be a quick enough answer. So it'd be 4 to the right leg, reduced to 2, and then I'll use 1 momentum to gain a die for this attack. So let's say what difficulty 3 reduced down to difficulty 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the range, but marksman. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So the first one.
Complication.
Yeah. So the first one was 4 damage. Soak 2. That would bring it down to 2. And then this one is 3 damage on the head. So no soaks. That's a total 5 with a complication. This guy takes a total of 5 damage. But did not take 5 in 1 attack, so it does not take a harm. So basically you shoot him twice, but this guy the first shot hits him in the leg. The second shot skims his temple, and your bowstring comes undone, basically on the tip. It kind of like almost like the very end almost snaps away from the bow. You'll be able to retie it, but you're also considered disarmed.
Well, shit.
Just throw the arrows at him. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
Just
you guys are
really,
so
really
right.
hard.
After that guy loses his weapon, let's see. So I gotta give Jasper commands as well. Jasper, forget the woman. To me. Shield and shield. Let's tear them to pieces. And would I be able to minor action, that kind of minor action, or could I throw my torch down and then get my shield off my back and fuck this dude up?
You could.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah. Toss it like right back here. Put a little bit more light on those guys.
Yeah, I'll throw my torch down. And what is it to get my shield out?
Minor action.
Yeah, so I'll toss the torch and smack this man. And, let's see what we got for this. We got 3, I'll use 1 momentum. Burn in hell. So close.
3 successes. My.
No, you know what? I'll use the extra momentum to do 1 more damage. Done.
There you go.
Yep.
The extra damage on my sheet, the +2 extra melee and extra range, is that factored in? Because I don't see it factored in.
Yes, it's factored in. It should be. He just doesn't have it, I think. It is factored in.
Kagan has
Yeah,
plus
+0.
+2 melee, +2 range.
Yeah, 3 + 2. Rolling 3 + 2.
Oh, it's damage dice that they roll?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was a flat modifier. My bad.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So hold
I
on.
do have range attack though. I could reroll damage dice.
Okay. So Varys, you rolled 3. You used. Okay, so you would have got 2 momentum on that.
Mm-hmm.
You'd lose 1 momentum because you increased the damage to 5, right?
Yep.
Torso. With a soak 2, that's 3 damage.
Fuckers. Tough.
Yeah, it has been a while. It has been a while because I forgot I have accurate. I can reroll 3 damage dice on each attack.
Alright.
Yeah, it's okay. We're working through it. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, Melik and Haroon.
So, do you want to do something, or you're on Gerd? Right?
Go ahead, Haroon.
Okay. So would a sprint? So that's long range. So that's 2 zones. Would
Yep.
that just straight to this one be 1?
Yeah, you can diagonal that.
Cool.
That's fine.
Yeah. Then what I'm gonna do is I'll do a standard 2 sprint. Oh, if it'll let me. Why is my token being so weird? I must have hit space or something. Ah, there it goes. So he's gonna kind of run like this, go 2 zones up here, and can I like kind of slide down and do a swift action to roll stealth?
By using 2 momentum. You mean?
Yep.
I don't think you can sprint and use stealth at the same time.
Okay. So, but if I I did that as a sorry. But if I were to go this way, could I get up to here stealth? With
Yeah, because you could.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that then. Ready? So he'll move up to there, and I'll roll stealth. I'll put 1 momentum to this. Man, all the complications today. 3 success, 1 complication.
I'll take the doom.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So you spin a momentum, got 1 back, so no big deal.
Can I get 1 bonus momentum as well from?
You sure do.
Sneaky.
Just remind me of all that stuff, guys. Thanks.
Yeah,
Go
no
ahead,
problem.
Melik. What are you gonna do?
So Melik, kind of hearing, the arguing outside and the what sounded like a sword and shield kind of going against each other, pushes Gerd further into the wall with his shield. Do you see what is going to happen here? You and your men are going to die. We just wanted one thing. We wanted to know what a Pyter was, and you refused to tell us. And then because he's naked, you said, right?
He is naked.
So
yes.
he has no weapons. He has nothing on him. Melik reaches over with his leg and pushes the crossbow away, kicks it behind himself.
Yeah, Gerd just has his hands up. He's like, I'm not doing anything. You came to my home.
You turn around, get on your knees, and face the wall.
He sighs and kneels and does so.
Okay. I'm looking around the room. What does the room look like?
Yeah, it's pretty dirty. There's a big blanket on the floor, a pile of clothes, a bench with a bunch of random stuff on it, a couple sacks of coins, a piss pot. Are you looking for something to tie him up?
No, okay. What I'm going to do then actually is grab him by the hair, pull him up. Keep a hold of him with my sword, basically jabbing him in the back.
Yeah.
And
he
then,
doesn't resist.
And then holding him basically in front of me. I come walking out of the tent with him in front of me with my sword in his back, and I kind of lead him up here as my move action or whatever.
Yep.
So I'm holding him right in front of me, naked, with his hands in the air, my sword in his back, and I yell to them, "All we want is Pyter. You give up that little rat, and you can have Gerd back. Either that, or I can run him through with my sword right now.
We kind of look at each other and see what happens. So it's their turn. Someone takes a sprint action. And you, Varys, catch
fucker.
You guys catch Pyter in the middle of them, just kind of duck back and just run.
Any chance there's enough light to where I can see where he's going?
Nah.
Uh-huh.
No, if you can't see it on the screen, you cannot see where he went.
Alrighty.
And the other guys kind of like, they're looking a little, you know, freaked out. And Gerd actually tries to sprint away. I'll let you give me 2 doom to attempt to stop him.
What do you mean? I have him by the hair. I mean,
Okay,
I'm holding him.
Alright, so he'll use athletics to get away from you. I'm gonna spend 2 doom. You can also use athletics as a struggle.
Okay. I will use a momentum.
Okay. Yeah, he tries to get away and you kind of jerk his head back.
And, you know, as he tries to get away, I jerk his head back and basically knock him down on the ground. And I'm holding.
You can't knock him down on the ground, but you can hold on to him. Okay, so these guys are a little. This guy has an arrow at him, and he's gonna sprint at Kagan regardless because he is just pissed. So move and attack. Actually, hold on. I'm sorry. These guys are a squad. They move in unison and attack Kagan together.
Oh shit. Oh, Malik, I guess you get to kill someone next turn for free.
Yeah, they're pissed. What would you like to do?
Get the hell out of the way.
Okay, you can use a reaction to parry or dodge.
Dodge.
If you don't have anything, to parry, you'll have to give me doom to do so.
I have a Tor.
You have a what?
Tor and a dagger.
Yeah, but none of them are out.
I have my bow stick. I would have to give you 2 doom to try to dodge out of the way. Acrobatic.
You can probably
I
so
was gonna say, because I think dodge is, unless you have the thingy for it, I think dodge is just for ranged, right? Unless you have a shield or no.
Oh, is that the case? Okay. I think you're right.
Because dodge is for ranged. If you have a shield, you can parry ranged instead. And I think there's a merit or whatever for.
I don't have a
dodge.
shield. It's kind of hard to shoot a bow.
I can parry. I can parry with my sword. I mean, I can parry ranged with my sword.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can parry even if you're unarmed.
So, okay, let's see. They hit you. Okay, so let's see. Vicious 1. Did they get an effect? They did. So that's 3 damage. That's what Vicious does. Gives an extra damage.
So Vicious adds 1 to any effect, so that'd be 4 damage.
I got 2 armor in the leg, so it'd be 2
Okay,
damage.
so
total.
you would just take 2 damage. What's your vigor? Total vigor?
Where is it?
Status, your
Scroll
vigor is
up.
13.
Yeah, 13.
Okay. So they come at you in a horde and just swing, and you're like, kind of overwhelmed, but they just graze you as they kind of get in each other's way and stuff. And it's all your guys' turn now.
And you said there's no way for me to kind of track him off wherever he went in the dark?
You can try to go find him, but you didn't see him.
Yes.
Actually, I'm going to use Doom to go again.
Cool. Yeah, I think in that case, once it comes around, I think I've got some people to kill. In the meanwhile,
these guys will try to attack Kagan again.
Oof. Oh my, they are.
I think you should give him some doom.
He can't because he doesn't have a way to.
I have a bow, which is essentially a staff.
Nah. Six damage. You take a harm.
And that's a high one to beat anyway with 3. It probably wouldn't honestly be worth the doom unless you have a high parry.
Pink is harm. Okay, we'll say.
Cool.
So in the head, do you have any soak in the head?
No.
Okay, so you just take 6 straight. Okay. So your difficulties are now increased by 1. It'll take a minor action for you to restring your bow, by the way. Okay, go ahead, guys. Mobs are no joke.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, the one that attacked Varus, that was part of the mob too. That's what.
No, he's not a part of the mob.
No, he's just a single retard. Fuck.
Who wants to go first?
What?
I mean, I can just throw a dagger real quick if we want to get that done.
Alright, go ahead. I'm trying to see what Steely
Okay.
Gaze does.
So,
You would attack their, whatever you call that, whatever that other.
yeah, so I will use a throwing knife. Let me see. So I'll do my move in, and then a throwing knife at this dude. At the little mob.
Yep.
Alrighty. Let me see. Momentum. We got plenty of momentum. So I'll use a momentum on this as well. Oh, that's wrong button. Sorry.
No, you're good.
There we go. Would have been 4 with the other roll, but I mean, I'm not worried about it. So it's 2, and we have how many momentum in the pool?
With that, so you'd have 7 now.
Let's
Because you
see.
just generated 2.
Yeah, so let me see, assassin. That's melee weapon. Okay. So I can't. I thought it was any weapon. Huh. Well, that works. So yeah, 2.
To the torso, doesn't get through. You
Oh,
throw your
Yeah, I was thinking I had my thing for upping damage with hidden weapons, but that seems to be just melee.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you throw it and the pommel hits him, not the blade part.
Okay.
Okay, whoever's next.
Kagan will, of course, take a step back, cursing loudly. Use a minor action to restring his bow.
I think disengage gets you attacked, doesn't it?
Let me see.
Unless you use an action to disengage.
Well, that's all movement. You can, as long as we're in the same square, we're technically moving around. We're all in the same area.
You can.
Well, there is something considered basically engaged.
Oh yeah,
I believe. Withdraw. I think you'd
Yeah,
have to
close range
withdraw.
without close range
I can,
to avoid a retaliate. Yeah.
yeah, I can still shoot though, right? That's
Well, withdraw is a standard, so that'd be that spot. But you could use a swift action to then shoot at a +1 difficulty.
I can restring as a minor and shoot right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, you
yeah.
could.
The only reason I was moving my token was cinematic. He's taking a step
Okay,
back.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he's
That's
taking
fine.
a step back as he's trying to fend off with his bow. He curses loudly and he manages to re-knock and strings his bow and draws back to shoot.
Okay, yeah, you can just shoot point blank range.
And it'll be the same guy that I was wounded previous.
Okay.
So difficulty is what, 1?
Yeah.
Nothing on range. You can't use more than one minor action. My minor action was to do the restrain.
Yep.
Okay, I will spend 1 momentum shot. So they said it's on my mind. It's technically a difficulty 2 now, isn't it? Because I'm considered harmed.
That's correct.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Harm adds difficulty to everything. I forgot about that.
It's good enough to hit 4
I'm
damage.
Using my accurate to reroll 2 of those.
Which ones? The blanks?
Yeah,
obviously?
the blanks, yeah. What the hell is the extra damage dice? So,
Just be it. Okay,
Nice.
so 5 damage. Left leg. Do you want to use any momentum for anything else?
be a difficulty 3 to show. That's the extra
Yeah,
damage.
you don't have to. You can just pack on damage too, though, right? If you want.
Yeah, 1 for 1. That's 5.
Yep.
Technically 3 getting through. Yeah, I'll
Tack on
pump
2.
3 for pump on 3 because it's
Add 3 more.
Yeah, isn't that what it needs to do to harm him? I think.
That's
5 will kill him automatically.
Oh, so it'll be 2 more.
Just two more, because you did 5, they have soak 2.
Yep, that will kill him.
Not to be meta or anything, but we know
That's
this.
fine. No, that's no. There's no meta in this. It's not. Okay, so you just point blank, quickly restrict. It just kind of come off the end, the knot, and you just kind of put it back on and just straight in the face, right?
Oh,
Or in
darn,
the
throwing
left
knives
leg,
do
actually.
count as melee weapons. So I could have maxed damage. Oh, I thought
Yeah,
so.
it's all good.
Yeah.
All right, Varys and Melik.
Alright.
And is Jasper squatted up with you? If
Yeah,
so,
no.
you get an extra die when you attack.
He is now, because we're about to
Okay.
get the fuck in, lads, boys, lads. Jasper, with me. Push forward. Clear them off, Kagan. And we're gonna start with the guy who is in our way of doing that.
Okay.
So this man.
So Jasper gives you an extra die automatically.
Okay, so let's see.
Yes.
I'm not gonna spend momentum. We're just gonna get him bang, bro. Well.
What you wanna do?
He can't have that much vigor left. He's been hit several times.
He's been hit once for 4, so then 5
3.
total.
He's been
He's got hit for 3.
You can reroll. You can reroll any number of dice, right? That's one of your fortune spends, or not fortune, fucking momentum spends. Reroll damage.
You can up damage. If you have
Yeah,
the
you
melee
can't-
thing, you can reroll dice.
Yeah, Kagan has there's a talent that lets you reroll dice. I don't think that's it.
I'm looking at combat momentum spend right now. It says the player may reroll any number of damage
Oh,
dice from the character.
Yep,
turn
then
attack.
yep, you're right. Just 1.
At one point, I can reroll any numbers, so I guess I'll reroll the blanks, which would be
Okay, go
what
ahead.
ones? Let's see. How many is that for blanks? 2?
2 misses.
2 is good. Give me
Spend
the
momentum.
good stuff.
Oh yeah, you can. Oh, but it's not repeatable. Okay, nice.
Yeah, you
Oh,
just did.
baby.
Oh,
There it is.
wow, what a good idea. All right,
There you
so
go.
it's 6 damage.
4, and then if I'm able to spend 1 more momentum to just do 5 damage, then
You sure can.
alright, there you go.
All right, you strike him down. How does it look?
Varys leads in, cutting him up, and then, sort of hamstrings him and leaves him for Jasper to just slit his throat. And they walk by, moving by forward with their shields up, ready to bang.
Alright. Melik.
Melik holding Gerd by his head, by his hair, kicks him in the back of the knees to force him down onto his knees. And then when he forces him down on his knees, he runs his sword across both Achilles.
That's one way to keep him from running away.
Oh my god.
He screams out, "What are you doing?" Ah!
I slice his Achilles and then kick him forward so he's face down in the dirt.
I was just reading about a technique like that in longswords.
So I'm assuming that's my whole action, and then I
that would be your action.
turned to face these guys after Gerd is lying on the ground.
Yep. So Talia's been getting up and she's starting to run away. Anybody gonna try to do anything? I'll allow a reaction for that. You wanna,
Yeah.
no. Okay, so
Not
she
worried about it.
sprints.
Bigger fish to fry,
Sprints off.
unfortunately.
Okay, I have some things going on. Other parts of the map. Wait 1 second. Okay, this mob basically are in bloodlust and just continue to attack Kagan.
Jesus.
No.
They're already engaged with them.
Survive one more round, Kagan. We're coming.
If you can just live until I
I
stab
can
them
defend.
to death.
I haven't used a reaction. I'm gonna use a reaction to use protect if I can.
Oh, nice.
How does that read?
Character attempts to defend an ally from an attack. This reaction may be used when an enemy attack is attempted. An ally declared as a target attack is within reach of the character. I don't know if I'm in reach.
Yeah, you do.
You're in
That's okay.
reach.
Okay, so cause my thing is me and Jasper are gonna try to protect them, or if it's just me, let's do it. But so it's
What is that mechanically? What do you do?
So this turns the attacker's skill test into a struggle, with the character testing at the difficulty of challenging D2. If the skill test is failed outright, the attack hits its original target. If the skill test is successful, then that character becomes a new target, and any momentum scored is used to determine whether or not the attack was successful, as normal for a struggle.
Okay.
So it would probably succeed with that, but I can roll a struggle to see if I
Yep.
become
So
the new
you have
target.
you're gonna parry then?
Yes, I am.
Do you have to give me Doom to do that? I would assume
No,
so.
not with
No?
not with a shield or a sword. No, because shield I
Okay.
can use parry twice. I think at least once before I can. Basically I get 2 parries without giving you doom now with the shield and the sword. I think I'll review that just to be sure, but I'll use a parry.
Okay, well you got one.
Yep. I don't get bonus dice from Jasper from this, right? I
No.
wouldn't think so.
No.
Okay, I'll use momentum then for the.
Okay. Yep.
God, I suck fucking dick.
So he's gonna hit Jasper instead of you.
Shit.
So what's his soak on his right leg? Or no, actually, you weren't able to deflect it. It still hits Kagan, right?
I believe so. That's what it says, yeah, because you're diverting the target to yourself. If you fail, then hits its original target.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So you try to get in front, but it doesn't work. Right leg is. What's your soak on your right leg?
It's 2.
2. So it's 3. I'm gonna use
4.
Doom.
It's 4 because
Okay.
of vicious.
Oh,
For
yeah.
each effect. Yep, 4. I'm going to use a Doom to bump my damage by 1 to give you a second harm. You're also at, you've taken, 13. You're at 0 vigor right now.
So when you hit 0, you take another harm as well, yeah.
So you got 3 harms.
Jesus.
Which I think that's what takes you down? And then the 4th one is death? Is that what it is?
No, it's no. It's 5th is death. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, 5th.
Actually,
Oh, yeah,
6th.
it's 5, isn't it?
I think it's either 5 or 6.
Oh, yeah, it's 5. Okay, yeah, so... Yeah, 4 would be down, and then 5 is, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so they basically are swarming Kagan as Varus tries to get in the way, and they're cutting him over and over and over again. He just kind of topples under their weight. And Gerd just lays there. What do the rest of you do? It's your turn again.
I'm gonna get in a bang. Go ahead, Malik.
Yeah, Melik, seeing all of this, he has his shield and his bastard sword out, and he rushes in to attack.
Okay.
So he attacks, or his broadsword, not his bastard sword. He attacks the mob as they're kind of toppling Kagan over. Yelling with his shield in his left hand, he raises his broadsword up with his right hand and brings it down on top of him. I'm going to use a momentum to do that.
Okay. Now I haven't. Okay, one thing I'm going to do, so you just know that I haven't been doing, is removing a momentum after every turn, which I should be doing.
Yeah, start
So
doing
you're
it.
currently at 0 momentum. After Melik did that, so 2 successes,
And a
6
complication.
damage, and a complication. I'm gonna just take the doom on that, and so you hit him left leg, 4 damage.
I'm going to use the momentum I got from the extra success to increase the damage.
Yep, you can do that. So that would kill him.
Yep. So as I rush in after seeing them kind of topple Kagan over, screaming and yelling, I come rushing in and I bring my broadsword down straight on him and kind of cleaves him from the neck down to the shoulder as he falls over to the side.
You got his leg though, man.
That's fine.
Nice, fine.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Haroon.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna use a throwing knife. No momentum on this one, so it's just the base target.
Yeah, you don't have any spin. do you?
Yeah. So, boop.
You're throwing at Gerd, right?
Right in the back.
If only. No, I'm throwing at this guy. So that'll be, yeah. Because we don't have any momentum, so I can't buff it, but I think that'll do some good damage. It'll actually deal
That's
damage this
2.
time.
That's 2, I believe, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Alright, so just kind of end over end into his arm and scream. I'm going to use 2 Doom to go with my mob. And move forward and attack Melik. Not nearly as good when I'm not rolling 4 dice for them. Oh!
You sure? You say that.
So, Melik is going to use his shield and sword to parry.
Okay,
There you go. Nice.
it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. That's what, 3?
Oh,
No.
Alright, so you're hit. I'm going to use, so I just generated 1 Doom from that. How much Doom I have? 2. I'm going to use 1 Doom to re-roll my blanks on damage, which is 3.
Uh-oh. Wow.
There we go.
I need to get in melee. Oh, this is bad.
And vicious, so
Yep.
that's 2 damage for the effect. So that's 4. That's 6 damage to the head. Do you have any soak on the head?
Yes, it's 3.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, whew.
So you take 3 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Okay. Haroon, you're up.
Alright,
That's
yeah.
me.
Or
Yeah, I was
Haroon
gonna say
or
if you
Varus.
Yeah, I
Where
don't
do
mind.
I-
Alright, I'm
where do
sorry, Varus, yeah.
Where do I mark that I took 3 to the head.
I put it in your green bubble.
Yeah, red
It
bubble's
doesn't-
your max.
The location only matters because of soak.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, my whole body is covered.
Yeah.
So let me bang, bro. Alright, we're getting in. Closest mob. Me and Jasper are just gonna bull rush him.
Okay.
Shit. Holy shit.
Nice.
So how much is that now?
That's 4. Right
4
there.
momentum.
Yeah,
Oh,
four
wow,
successes. Yeah.
4
Yeah, 4 successes.
So like 3 momentum, I believe.
Let's 3 momentum? Let's spend
Yep.
let's spend all of it and kill him.
Yep.
Yep. Good.
We just kind of rush him and just stab him in the side. It's not gracious. It's not glorious. It's just business. Just get it done. Stabbing him to death in the side. So whoever's next.
Okay. I've done all my this guy. Or no, he already went. So yeah, it's your turns again. Gerd is just kind of crawling away a little bit.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I can
You guys are up again.
throwing knife it. Otherwise,
All right. Melik will spin around with his shield, raise his broadsword again on him, and bring it down on top of him. And do we have more? Oh, you spent all your momentum, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to end his life.
Okay.
Complication.
You have 0. Yep. Complication. I'll take the doom on that.
Okay.
And that's 6 damage to the torso. Okay. So just 4 damage.
Ugh. I had some momentum. Okay, so I bring it across his chest.
Yep. He's flagging kind of like with everybody dead and he's staggering.
oh, was it 1? Target 1?
Yep.
Because you got 2. You hit 2 there, so there'd be 1 momentum. You could put.
Oh,
the
there
damage.
is 1 momentum. There is 1.
Oh.
Yeah, you rolled a 3, so you could put the 1 into
Oh,
the damage
yeah,
and
I'll
it'd be
put the-
5.
The blue is weird.
Yeah, the blue is funky.
Blue is a minimum maximum, basically. It's meaning you
Yeah.
rolled super low and super high.
Yep. So you can spin that to kill him.
Do it.
Okay, yep, I'll spend that momentum to increase the damage by 1.
Nice.
Okay.
There you go.
You're technically still in combat. What would you like to do?
I don't know. Stomp on Gerd's ankles. Fuck. Yeah, Haroon
Someone
is
stop
kinda,
good.
Yeah, Haroon is.
I mean, he's not. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty much down. Haroon kind of slips this way a little bit and goes into stealth again, kind of keeping an eye that way. Oh.
Yeah. Over here, you hear like people like cursing and coming in your direction from that square.
Yeah. So can I see this guy enough to do a throwing knife?
With a difficulty of 3, yes.
I think instead I'm gonna roll stealth if that's suitable.
That's very suitable.
Alrighty. Boop.
Do we hear these footfalls and cusses?
And then I
Haroon
gain
does.
2 momentum, yes?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, you would. Everybody hears there's people coming.
And I slip into the shadows.
Yep.
Yeah, that's me.
Melik grabs Gerd by the hair and starts dragging him down this direction, just pulling him with him.
Jasper, help me with Kagan. We need to leave. I'm all coming.
Yeah. Between you, Kagan, basically Jasper throws Kagan over his shoulder. All right, my lord.
Move quickly. They're coming. Let's just book it. Haroon, slink your way with us if you're around.
Alright. Alrighty.
So Kagan is over Jasper's shoulder.
Yeah, Rune.
And it's my turn.
Stick into the shadows.
And he just sees these 4 guys cross this bridge and just like run. They're like looking for. Varys technically does not have a torch on him, so hold on.
Oh, fortuitous. Glad I threw that shit on the ground.
And so they. Yeah, hold on. Actually, we'll see.
We will, yes.
Complication. Double 20. Shit.
Well, they don't see me.
Yeah, they're able to pick up your trail as you leave, and they come in. So it's your turn again.
I was going to ask real quick, because I can't remember. For mobs, if you deal excess of 1 wound, so if I deal like 2 wounds, does it carry?
Yes, if you do harm, it goes to the next
Okay,
one.
cool.
Absolutely.
So can I do a insight roll on them?
And you lost the momentum for the round.
Yeah. Can I do an insight on them?
For what?
From sneaking?
For what?
To prepare an ambush, basically, on him. So he can...
Sure.
Yeah, he's just waiting in the dark. Where is it? Object. Alright. So we have 1 momentum. I'm going to use that 1 momentum.
Okay.
Ooh, oh, I'm glad I did. Alright, so that succeeds. So that's, that's Haroon. So now he can go in with his dagger. Have a good time, everyone.
Do I notice that they noticed us?
You notice they don't look like they're slowing down as they round the corner. They're coming south.
Jasper, bring a rune over here. We're going to try to jump them.
And Jasper's like, alright! Kind of like brings Kagan over and sits him down.
And we're gonna
Just lure him on in, and
we're gonna try the ambush. I don't know what I gotta roll for that. We're gonna try to.
I think it's insight.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do stealth so that you can be well hidden from them, you could do that, and then any momentum.
We don't have any momentum. And I'm not good
that's
at
what I'm saying is, if you get momentum, I can use it to buff my damage. Big time.
Oh no, I'm not good at stealth. Oh no.
Plus, is your armor noisy too?
Yeah, it is.
I think Melik's is too.
Yeah, my armor's noisy.
The thing is, my stealth is better than my insight, so I guess
there you go.
what I'm doing.
Between the two, then, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Or because it's observation, yeah. If you wanna.
Well, fuck me, I guess. Good luck, Haroon.
Don't worry.
I'm out of my element.
I'm out of my element.
Melik, knowing that they have our trail and knowing that they're coming, he drags Gerd over here and holds him in front of him and just waits for them to show up. He's got his sword to the back of Gerd's head.
Okay. So they move here, coming forward. Haroon, what do you do?
All right.
You ambush him.
Yeah, so I'll move up behind, and I'm going to go for an attack with my dagger.
Okay.
And he's going to attempt to kind of slip up behind and start slitting throats, essentially.
Do it.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Come on, roll good. So that's 2. So that's 1 momentum. Oh darn! I only had 1 momentum.
Reroll your damage dice.
Now remember, you can do things by giving.
Oh
doom,
yeah.
too.
Yeah. So I'll give you a doom for the second momentum.
I think it's 2 doom per momentum.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 doom. That'll give us the 1 momentum. So they'll have 2 momentum total, and then I will trigger Assassin, which basically maxes my damage. All of them count as effects, and because it's vicious, it's 2 per die. So that'll be 12 damage.
Jesus.
Okay, that will kill 2 of them.
Yeah, he he swoops in from behind and, one to the kidney and the other one up into the neck, and he's just there ready with him with his shield up.
Yeah, they're very surprised as they kind of slide to a halt.
I'm surprised.
No, that's what Haroon is for. He's for, okay, they don't see me, they're dead.
Just fucking killing dudes.
Yeah, they're technically here. So as you kill the two guys behind him, they immediately turn on you,
Yep.
and almost retaliatory,
Mm-hmm.
like trying to help themselves.
Oof, I will attempt to parry that, and since I have a shield, so yeah, parry. So let's roll parry.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
Yep, they can't get through your defenses.
Nice.
Alright, it's time.
And then it's next turn, -1 momentum. It's 0. I'm going to use Doom to go first. And I'm going to attack Haroon again.
Alrighty.
And I'm going to use Doom for extra die.
And would this be top of the round, so I can parry again for 0, or would this be?
It is the top of the round, yes.
Yep. Alright, and I'll attempt
Oh
to
man, terrible
parry.
roll for me.
Yeah. That shield, baby.
Terrible roll.
He
Okay.
can't be stopped. He can't be reasoned with. He will not stop.
Shield up in front of one, dagger blocking the other.
Oh, Varus and Jasper are just gonna get in if we can.
Get him.
Yeah, go for it.
And bang. Just come around the corner. No! And then just smash him. Oh, where's my sword? Surf. There we go. Hey!
There you go.
That's,
2 momentum.
Momentum.
2 momentum?
Yeah, you can use the 2
I
momentum.
guess I'll spend both of them to
Yeah.
kill a guy.
Can do
Oh,
it.
I clicked a button. Oh yeah, I forgot there's a button for my combat talents. Yeah, that makes life easy.
So while they're trying to gang up on Haroon, we just run around the corner and just slice into him. I'm leading and cut his arm, and then Jasper runs him through the gut, stealing my kills.
And then I kick Gerd down to the ground again since I was dragging him already.
Poor
He's
Gerd.
abusing that guy.
And
Guys, you know what?
basically, as I kick him, I use his body to step off and push forward as I lunge at this guy.
Nice.
Mhm.
Get him. Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Momentum.
And as I lunge forward at him, I just shove my broadsword straight through his chest.
Yeah, you know what I forgot? Because dagger's unforgiving, that means it was intense, so that would have been a 3rd wound, because if it were to deal a wound, it deals a 2nd one. But
Oh,
it's
is that
3
right?
total,
That's
but
intense, though.
I love that Mel just ran a guy through, so
Daggers are just
I'm quite happy with it. Assassin, it requires basically putting everything into being an assassin, but you can basically one-shot a small group of people. It doesn't really work on big guys, but it's useful.
That's what you have me for, is that meat shields.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so
Yeah.
right now everything appears to be calm as there's like 10 bodies piled up, but Pyter is gone and Kagan lays at your feet.
Varus will look around, making sure that everything appears clear, and then sheath his sword and spit on the ground. He eludes us again, and now he sticks his unholy dagger on one of our dear friends. And Varus will walk over to Kagan and help Jasper with me, help pick him up. And
Kagan can become conscious now. It's just badly injured.
Yeah, Haroon is quite obviously frustrated over by the pile of bodies that Pyter got away. He's like kicking one of them. God fucking damn it, you bastards! And very blatantly, like it's like jarring the difference in the way he was speaking. Before he kind of catches himself and is quiet again.
Haroon. Calm yourself. We'll get him.
I just need to breathe. It is fine. Everything is fine.
Kagan, can you hear me?
I live.
Good.
Melik, he takes his sword and he cleans it off on Gerd's backside. Just kind of wipes it off, using him as like the grass or whatever. And he wipes it off, then he picks his head up and looks him in the face. He's all, could have prevented all this. This is your doing.
Oh, Gerd is, I didn't know where he was.
Can I do insight to be sure? I mean, I'm pretty sure he legit didn't, but just in case.
Sure, go ahead.
Alrighty.
You're pretty sure he didn't know exactly where he was. You're pretty sure that they knew each other and he was being difficult on purpose, and you don't think he would have told you regardless. But
yeah, he kind of voices that I do not think he would have told us if he could. Then again, I am not sure he really knew for sure.
Well, this is what happens when you do not tell us. Whether you want to or not, whether you knew where he was or not, you knew we were looking for him. You knew where we possibly could find him. You knew what direction he went. You knew what he was going after. You may not have known where he was when we were asking, but you had information you could have given to us. And this is what happened because you chose not to.
Indeed.
You've crippled me.
Yes, you are going to be a cripple for the rest of your life. All because you chose not to tell us about a rat running through your village.
What is your name?
You do not need to know my name. The fact is,
So you're a coward.
I know your name, and I know Pyter's name.
You're a coward then. An unarmed man crippling an unarmed man, such honor.
And
We'll be honoring quite a few men tonight. At least your knees still work.
with that, after he calls Melik a coward, Melik becomes just kind of like a quiet fury. And he closes his eyes and he looks down at, he closes his eyes and he reaches down into his boot and pulls a dagger out.
Haroon kind of holds up a hand. A moment, if you would. Do you have any idea where he may have gone, Pyter? He kind of squats down in front of Gerd and lets Garrett hang in front of him between his hands. It is wise if you tell us now.
And he just shakes his head. I only met the man a day ago. He's been hiring thugs out of Beggar's Row. These men, and he kind of waves to the dead men around, are my men, but those, no. They would have not have come after you with me being captured as such, so it's not even my fault.
And where would the safest place for him to hide those men and himself be?
Here, but he's probably leaving the city, I would say. So don't kill me. Don't let this fool kill me who crippled me. I'm telling you what I need to know, or what you need to know now that I know. Don't know the man well.
Indeed. But you see, there is a problem in this. You have a grudge now. And I would be much more comfortable with the next head of the snake. Sadly, you are of no use to me, as you are now. Or as you could be if your legs did heal. And he's gonna raise a dagger to kill him if no one stops him.
Urge violence.
So Haroon drives the dagger into his neck.
he reaches up and grabs at his throat, and blood covers his hands as he kind of slumps over to the side, and eyes wide open, looking into the night.
As
The horrific eyes of Haroon, who gives no fucks.
And as his blood is gurgling and he's looking, Melek leans down and whispers into his ear, "My name is Melek. You wanted to know."
That was grim fucking business.
Indeed.
Look
We
around.
must return to the caravan. If he does have a good number of men with him, there is a chance that is where he's headed.
This man, he was a slaver, a rapist, a thief. There is no loss.
Of course. But as I said, we should get to the caravan, see Kagan taken care of. Are you not too hurt, my friend?
He's badly beaten.
He took head wounds. His eyes are just kind of rolling. Can't keep focused.
We will get you taken care of. Haroon kind of stands up and stretches a bit. Well then, our business.
Well, if we want him taken care of immediately, there's one who might, though I doubt anyone's willing to help us here now.
I would not trust him. A blade could easily be coated without us noticing, especially after all that has happened. We could get Kagan back to the camp and he could die of poisoning. It's the last thing we want to deal with. Safer back home.
Alright. Come on, Kagan. You'll have my shoulder. Let's get you back.
Just grunt, lean against you.
Hold on, just one moment. And Melek runs back to Gerd's tent area.
Mm-hmm.
And he remembers when he was in here with Gerd seeing a crossbow and some coin pouches. He grabs all of that.
Nice.
Okay.
So he grabs the crossbow, he reaches, and he heads back out and follows the rest of the group.
All right. You make your way back through Shushan with Jasper and Varus, Melek, giving their shoulders to Kagan and helping him back to the caravan. And by the time you get there, it's the middle of night. The caravan stirs as you do return with people rushing to aid you. And as they come, Kagan begins to black out and lose consciousness and come back to, and you sit around as what's her name? As Henwell's concubine, who is the de facto healer in the camp, comes to call on your injuries and wounds. And the screen fades to black as Kagan's fate and the location of Pyter is still unknown.
He eludes our blades again!
That fucking little weasel.